It's a black Saturday for residents of Niger State and other parts of Nigeria as an early morning tanker explosion led to the death of 77 persons. According to an eyewitness, the petrol tanker loaded with premium water spirit at Dikko Junction in Gurara local government area spilled some of its content, prompting residents to scoop fuel from the spillage.
Early in the morning today, it happened. People here were packing the fuel here, they were packing the fuel, they have finished packing the fuel, but they brought a generator that they would transport all these things that happened here to other vehicles. So, in terms of transporting it, then it happened to start a generator. When they start the generator, that is when the explosion just started. Seriously, people that die here are more than people that escaped the fire.
And Governor of Niger State, Umaru Bago, has banned heavy-duty trucks from using the Dikko Bridge.
The cooperation of the Union Transport, the road safety, and also the plying people. All trucks cannot take one way on this flyover. They must go down and take a U-turn after Dikko. You must enforce it from this moment. Enforce it. So I want in sector commander, you must put a unit here, a detachment here, permanent. At any point in time, we find anybody taking one way here, deal with the person. Confiscate the car, the truck. You cannot be killing people. The lives of Nigerians, innocent Nigerians that have been lost today, only God knows. This is pathetic. We are even lucky it didn't extend to these villages here because of the recklessness of drivers. This is our position as a government, and we are going to enforce it.
Oh, let's bring in our senior reporter, Chenemi Bameyi. He's in Niger State. Chenemi, I know that you've been staying on the story since morning. Talk to us about what the casualty figure is. We know that 77 persons have now been buried, according to the State Emergency Management Agency. Talk to us about what you know right now.
All right. It's still a developing story, and it's quite sad, the details that we're getting right now. Right now, the figures are still at 77. The people, those that were injured, have been spread across different hospitals in that area. The governor also directed that doctors should be deployed from Mina, the state capital, to that area to help with treating those that suffered various degrees of burns. And he's also directed that traffic should be properly controlled around that axis, and trucks should no longer use the Dikko Bridge. If you're familiar with that route, a lot of times truck drivers refuse to go through the bridge. They would rather use the one-way, causing traffic jam in that area. So when you go through that area, you usually find trucks parked on both sides of the road, which is not supposed to be. So right now, the death toll is still at 77.
No, of course, when we talk about the death toll, there are stories behind these numbers. Take a look at from what you've reported earlier about a woman who went to scoop fuel with a baby on her back. Talk to us about some of the stories you've heard from the eyewitnesses.
I mean, it's quite unfortunate that these things still happen, even though people have experienced various degrees of tragedy trying to do such things before. The eyewitnesses say these people had no reason to do that, but it feels like people just want to take advantage of the situation, not minding the potential risk, and also the manner by which the truck drivers try to transfer the fuel from one tanker to the other shows that there was no regard for safety measures at all. You know, bringing a generator set to a place where you have inflammable product like that shows that there was no regard for any form of safety, which I think authorities need to look at.
And talking about what your authorities are doing, talk to us about the response of local authorities. That's the local government to the state government. We understand that the governor was there earlier today and he had banned trucks from using the Dikko Bridge, and also giving certain instructions to the Federal Road Safety Commission and to some other agencies as to how to deal with issues like this. But really, what is in it for? How would these families and communities be able to recover, from an incident like this, knowing that 55 are still in the hospital?
I mean, it's actually quite unfortunate, and to know that majority of those in the hospital suffered very high degrees of burns, and I mean, it's going to really take some time for them to recover from that. It actually took the help of the locals around there to be able to rescue some of those people before we had the fire service come to that scene. And then there are also smaller villages surrounding that area. Thankfully, the fire did not spread to those villages. If not, the casualties would have been more than what we're talking about right now. But thanks to the locals around there that were able to help support those people. But the magnitude of fire was so much that they could do only little.
Chidimi Bami, our senior reporter in Niger State, thank you so much for bringing us that update. We're sure that you will keep your eye on every other update that comes from Niger State. We're still on this morning's tanker explosion in Niger State. The Nigerian Governors Forum is seeking stricter enforcement of safety measures across the country, particularly in the transportation and handling of combustible materials. Chairman of the NGF and Governor of Kwara State, Abdurrahman Abdurrazak, says this incident is a reminder of the urgent need to enhance regulatory frameworks to prevent such occurrences in the future. The Governors Forum commiserated with the government, people and families affected by the explosion, and the governors also commended the swift response of emergency services, first responders and security agencies in managing the aftermath of the disaster. Well, the Controller General of the Federal Fire Service, Abdulganiyu Jaji, has issued an urgent call to owners of petrol stations and tanker operators to address the habit of reckless driving. In a statement signed by him, Mr. Jaji highlighted the critical need for immediate action to enhance road safety, especially on major highways and dangerous bends. The fire chief emphasized the importance of revisiting and strengthening safety protocol for fuel transportation across the country.